Hello everybody, I'm Chris Clutch and welcome to Coins with Clutch. Thank you for finding my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I'm also found on TikTok at CM Clutch, and hopefully you've seen my previous videos. I covered all the denominations up until this point, and now get ready to go into the dollar coins. All right, lots of different types of dollar coins out there, whether we're talking about Morgans, whether we're talking about, American Silver Eagles, or if we're just talking about the presidential dollars or your Susan B. Anthony dollars. There's so many different varieties out there, but we're going to get into all of them. So sit back. I hope you enjoy. I hope you get a little something out of this video. And here we go. So when we talk about dollar coins, obviously the most popular and the most sought after are your silver dollars, your actual silver dollars that were in circulation, especially from the earlier years. The United States saw different varieties in the late 1700s and early 1800s, such as the flowing hair dollar, the draped bust dollar. There was a dollar called the Gobrecht dollar that was minted from 1836 to 1839, and it looks similar to Flying Eagle cent. If you refer back to my cents video and see the Flying Eagle cent, it looks almost similar to that. There was also a Liberty seeded version from 1840 to 1873, and then trade dollars were pretty common from 1873 to 1885. However, the most popular silver dollars that were in existence back in the late 1800s to early 1900s was the Morgan silver dollar. There was a coinage law of 1873 that made no provision for the standard silver dollar. During the lapse in coinage of this denomination, the gold dollar became the unit coin, and the trade dollar was used for commercial transactions with the Orient. A resumption of the coinage of the silver dollar was authorized by the Act of February 28, 1878, known as the Bland-Allison Act. The weight, which was 412.5 grains, and the fineness was .900, were to conform with the Act of January 18, 1837. George T. Morgan, formerly a pupil of William Wyon in the Royal Mint in London, designed the new dollar. His initial M is found on the truncation of the neck. And if we zoom in, I'm trying to see if we can find the M initial. It is kind of hard to make out. Yeah, I'll look at this other one here. Yeah, they're kind of difficult to make out. It also appears on the reverse on the left-hand loop of the ribbon. Okay. Oh, there might be one initial right here above the word dollar. Yeah, it is kind of hard to make out. So, all right. Coinage of the silver dollar was suspended after 1904 when the demand was low and the bullion supply became exhausted. Under provisions of the Pittman Act of 1918, there were several silver dollars were melted, and later in 1921, the coinage of the silver dollar was resumed. The Morgan design, with some slight refinements, was employed until the new piece design was adopted later that year. Varieties listed are those most significant to collectors. Numerous other variations exist. All right, so I'll give you a couple examples here. This is an 1885 Morgan dollar. This is Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. So I'll go ahead and kind of bring this into the light a little bit. As you can see, the detail of the Liberty on the head. And here's the reverse. All right, and here is a 1887 O, which stands for New Orleans, Morgan dollar. And there's the mint mark right above the word dollar, in between the D and the O. There were also others that were minted in Carson City, all right, where they would have a CC listed there, and also Denver and San Francisco. Something to keep in mind with these Morgan dollars, there are counterfeits out there. So you be aware of when you buy a Morgan, be aware of, cheap prices, promising you a certified Morgan dollar. There are a lot of counterfeits out there. So how can you tell the difference between a real Morgan dollar and a fake Morgan dollar? Well, one of the telltale signs of a Morgan dollar is the weight. A real Morgan dollar weighs about 26.7 grams, so they're pretty heavy. Even worn ones, even if you have significant wear all the way around the coin, they still weigh about 25 to 26 grams. A counterfeit Morgan dollar weighs significantly less. They weigh anywhere from 22 to 23 grams, and definitely fake. Some other things you'll notice on a fake Morgan dollar. I'll get my pointer out here. You'll see some markings right here between "In God We Trust" and the United States. Probably a series of 3 dots. You see those? That's definite signs of a counterfeit Morgan dollar. So be wary out there. Do your research when before you buy these Morgan dollars. Definitely, when you do get them, check them over, check the weight, make sure they are in fact real. These were checked. They do weigh what they're supposed to, and they are in fact real. So the peace dollar was the next dollar minted, and that was from 1921 to 1935. This was a commemorative peace coin. It was issued without congressional sanction under the terms of the Pittman Act, which referred to the bullion and in no way affected the design. Anthony de Franceschi, a medalist, designed this dollar. His monogram is located in the field of the coin underneath the neck of Liberty. The new peace dollar was placed into circulation on January 3rd, 1922. And they weigh 26.73 grams, and they are 90% silver. So I don't have any of these peace dollars. I'm just still trying to get my hands on a couple so I can add that to my collection. But yeah, definitely if you come across this, you definitely want to keep these. Something else that's pretty popular among collectors when it comes to dollars and silver dollars this year, $1 American Silver Eagle coins. These are 1 ounce bullion coins with a face value of $1. It has a modified rendition of the Adolph A. Weinman's Liberty walking design used on half dollars from 1916 to 1947. The reverse design from 1986 to early 2021 is a heraldic eagle by John Mercati. And it looks like that. A new flying eagle design by Emily Damstra was introduced in late 2021, and this is the design right here. All right, so these are pretty popular. These are very sought after. As you can see, this is a 2021. All right, looks like West Point Mint, and there's the new design. Again, these are 1 ounce of pure silver. And then this one here is a 2011 San Francisco Mint, American Silver Eagle. The MS69 means it's Mint State 69, so it is near perfection. And there's the reverse. And this one was certified and slabbed by NGC. NGC stands for Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They are an official grader of coins. Now we're starting to get into our dollars that were in circulation more in the modern era. This right here is the Eisenhower dollar. This was minted from 1971 to 1978. It was introduced to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had passed away in 1969. The design on the reverse celebrates the first lunar landing, adapted from the official Apollo 11 insignia. The American eagle holds an olive branch, a symbol of peace, in its talons as it descends to the moon. The Earth can be seen in the distance, right there. The U.S. Mint chief engraver Frank Gasbro designed the coin. His initials appear on the obverse at the truncation of the bust and on the reverse below the eagle's tail. You could really make it out right there. I'll zoom in. There it is, FG. All right. Two varieties are known. Variety 1 in low relief with a flattened earth and 3 islands visible off the coast of Florida, and in high relief with a rounded earth and weak and distinct islands. So as you can see, there's Florida and the 3 islands there. That is variety number 1. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced Eisenhower dollars for coin sets, but not general circulation. In 1975 and 1976, the Eisenhower dollar with a special Liberty Bell and Moon reverse was issued to honor the U.S. bicentennial. And I have an example here. You can see. Here is the bicentennial reverse with the Liberty Bell and the moon. And then the front has the dual date 1776 to 1976. There are no dollars dated in 1975. The original design was resumed in 1977. Although some silver-clad dollars were minted for collector sets, Eisenhower dollars produced for circulation are copper-nickel clad, made of a copper-nickel layer bonded to a copper core. So the only silver coins that we have of this variety are your 1971 S-Mint, 1972 S-Mint, 1973 S-Mint, and your 1974 S-Mint. Those are all 40% silver. Okay. So all the rest of your Eisenhower dollars are nickel clad. The mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, no mint mark for Philadelphia, appears just below the bust. So as you can see, I'll zoom in on this one here, 1978, and there's your mint mark, D for Denver. As you can see, these are very large coins, okay? They're very bulky, large. They weigh about 24.5 grams for the silver ones. The clad ones weigh about 22.7 grams. So still a very big, bulky coin. Again, these were minted from 1971 through 1978. The next set of dollars minted was the Susan B. Anthony dollars. They were minted from 1979 through 1981, and then again in 1999. They were introduced to honor Susan B. Anthony, who was a famous suffragist and a woman's rights advocate. It marked the first time in history that a portrait of a real woman, rather than a mythological or symbolic figure, had appeared on a U.S. circulating coin. Chief engraver Frank Gasbro designed the Anthony dollar. His initials appear below the Anthony's portrait on the obverse and below the eagle's tail on the reverse. The reverse design was a modification of that used on the Eisenhower dollars. Coins struck in 1979 came in 2 varieties, the narrow rim and the wide rim. And you can tell the difference. I have an example of both here, and I will zoom in here. So on your 1979, this is an example of a 1979 narrow rim. Actually, I'll do this one. This one's a little better. You can see the distance between the 1 and the rim is pretty significant. There is a pretty big gap right there. So that is a narrow rim. This here is an example of a wide rim. And as you can see, and I will move it more towards the light so you can see this, the distance between the 1 and the rim is very small, minuscule, like the rim is almost touching the 1. This is an example of a wide rim variety. So good to have. If you ever find a wide rim variety, I would definitely hold on to that. They are a little more valuable than your narrow rim. The Anthony dollar failed to circulate and never really caught on with the public. The paper dollar remained the preferred currency, and production of the Anthony dollar was halted only after 3 years. In 1993, the U.S. Post Office began issuing Anthony dollars for change in stamp machines, placing them at least temporarily back into circulation. Production resumed in 1999, but did not extend beyond that year. All Anthony dollars are copper nickel clad, made of copper nickel layer bonded to a copper core. The mint marks: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, no mint mark for Philadelphia, appears just below the bust. So again, you can see there is your mint mark: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. And again, in 1980. So the thing with 1981s were only issued in mint sets. So you really cannot find these in circulation. If you do find these in circulation, I would definitely hold on to them, because these were actually not intended for circulation. And then again in 1999. So I have a complete set of Susan B. Anthony's, and they were only minted for those 4 years. Next up is the Sacagawea dollar. The Sacagawea dollar was minted from 2000 until 2008. It was authorized by the United States Dollar Coin Act of 1997. Beginning in the year 2000, it replaced the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had been in circulation since 1979. This coin honors the young Shoshone woman who played a critical role in the success of the Lewis and Clark expedition of 1804 to 1806. Sacagawea helped lead the explorers from St. Louis to the Pacific Ocean and back. The Sacagawea dollar measures 1.043 inches in diameter. It's the same size as a Susan B. Anthony dollar and has a unique golden color. The edge is smooth rather than redded, and the border is wider than that of the other circulating U.S. coins, making it easy to discern for both the sighted and the seeing impaired. The coin's obverse, which was designed by Glenna Goodacre, portrays Sacagawea in a 3/4 profile carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, on her back. As with all modern U.S. coinage, the motto, "In God We Trust," is included in this design. You can see, "In God We Trust." Here's a 2000 P Liberty and a 2000 Denver Mint. The reverse was designed by Thomas D. Rogers Jr. It depicts an American bald eagle, the nation's symbol. The 17 stars encircling the eagle symbolize the states that made up of the Union in 1804, when the Lewis and Clark expedition began. In 1999, the Secretary of the Treasury, Robert Rubin, said this new dollar coin is a graceful tribute to the part of the American history and will be a striking addition to our coinage and our currency system. In 2009, the U.S. Mint launched the Native American dollar coin series, which I'll be covering next. The Sacagawea obverse design continued to be used, but henceforth paired with the changing reverse every year. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all produce the Sacagawea dollar, with the mint mark S for San Francisco, D for Denver, no mint mark for Philadelphia, located just below the date. Which that is actually not true, because there is actually P Philadelphia mint mark. So all your mint marks are showing up for all of these. So as you can see, there's 2000, there's 2001, 2002, and something to keep in mind too, all your Sacagawea dollars from 2002 to 2008 were considered NIFC, or not intended for circulation. So if you go through a dollar roll of dollars, you'll find a lot of 2000s and 2001s, But if you find anything 2002 through 2008, I would definitely hold on to those, because those are not intended for circulation. Again, 2003, 2004. Here is 2005, 2006, 2007, and then finally 2008. Something unique about the 2000 Philadelphia Mint Sacagawea dollars is what's called a Cheerio dollar. So in 1999, the early 2000s, Cheerios put on a promotion, and they actually incorporated some of these Sacagawea dollars into their boxes of cereals. There was about 5,000 of these specific type of coins made. And as a coin collector, we actually look for these very hard when we search through dollar coins. So if you can see on the reverse, this is the reverse, and the tail feather on the reverse. Actually, I've got another one here that I'll pull up here and I'll show you. If you look at the middle tail feathers, the middle tail feathers are they're plain. There's no design on them. And I'm actually, let me get a pointer out here. All right, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. I'm looking right here where I have my pointer. Those tail feathers are normal. This is a normal Sacagawea dollar. This here is a picture of a Cheerio dollar. As you can see, the lines, there are diagonal lines going up this way and diagonal lines going down this way. Very distinct. If you find this in a 2000p Sacagawea dollars, that would be very valuable. That could be worth anywhere up to $250 to $500, depending on the condition of the coin. In addition, there are what's known as mule errors. There are instances where there are gold-colored Sacagawea dollars with the Susan B. Anthony on the front and the Sacagawea eagle on the back. So if you do find these mule errors or these mule coins, definitely hold on to those. Those are very valuable. Some other mule errors include the front of a Sacagawea and the back of a presidential dollar, which I'll cover next. And most recently, they did find one that they're talking about with a front of a Sacagawea and the back of a South Carolina quarter. And there are some other known quarter mule errors in regards to the Sacagawea dollar. So some different ones out there to look for. So in 2009, the Native American Dollar Coin Act took into effect. The Sacagawea design remained on the obverse, but the reverse will change every year to design that honors the important contributions that Native American tribes and individuals have made in U.S. history. E pluribus unum, the year, and the mint mark all move to the edge of the coin. The law requires that at least 20% of the total mintage of dollar coins, including presidential dollars, in any given year are Native American dollars. So, with that said, I will show you an example of what they're talking about. All right, let's see here. So these coins are actually in circulation to present day. So starting in 2009, these are the designs. You have Three Sisters in 2009. You have the Great Law of Peace in 2010. You have the Wampanoag Treaty in 2011. You have trade routes in the 17th century in 2012. 2013 saw the treaty with the Delawares. 2014, Native Hospitality. 2015, Mohawk Ironworkers. 2016 is Code Talkers. Sorry, I don't have that one yet. 2017 is Sequoia. 2018 is Jim Thorpe. 2019, American Indians in Space. 2020, Elizabeth Peratrovich. 2021, American Indians in the military. And 2022, surrender at Appomattox. So I pulled out the 2022 so you can see. So big difference here. So it does look like a Sacagawea dollar. However, the date and the mint mark are missing from the obverse. They actually removed to the rim of the edge of the coin. And if you can look real close, and I'll kind of move my camera here a little bit so you can see. You can see that the words E pluribus unum is on the rim, then some stars, and then there's the year 2022 Denver Mint, and then that's it. Okay, so something to look for in the Native American dollars, so definitely look for mule errors like I mentioned, okay, but also look at the edge. Okay, if there is no evidence of any writing or markings on the edge, like it was just a plain strike and nothing written on there, then that's definitely something that you want to hold on to and keep. Okay, so those are very valuable. But these are the Native American coins, and they are actually in circulation, to date, and they will continue to be in circulation. So be on the lookout for those. Next up are the presidential dollar series, and I'm going to go ahead and split this into two different sections. So the first section of presidential dollars were minted from 2007 to 2011. In December 2005, Congress approved a new dollar coinage known as a presidential dollar. During each year from 2007 to 2015, 4 different dollar designs, each featuring a portrait of a president, were released, with 3 more being released in 2016. Living presidents, both current and former, are excluded from the program, so the program ceased at that time after issuing the Ronald Reagan coin. A George H.W. Bush coin was then issued in 2020, following his passing in 2018. Interestingly, 2 coins were issued for Grover Cleveland, representing the 2 non-consecutive terms he served, and I'll show that later in my second part. The shared reverse for the series was designed by Don Everhart, while different designers created the obverses. The reverse featured a cropped, upward-looking view of the Statue of Liberty. These coins were issued in parallel with the Sacagawea dollar in the Native American dollar series and share the same dimensions and composition as those coins. All right, and then initially the date, mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, P for Philadelphia, and the mottos "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum" were lettered on the edge of the coin. But in response to public criticism, the motto "In God We Trust" was moved to the obverse starting in 2009. Okay, so here we go. I'm not going to pull one out because they are still in the book here, but you can see 2007, you saw Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. In 2008, you saw Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, and Martin Van Buren. In 2009, you can see "In God We Trust" was moved to the obverse. And we have Harrison, Tyler, Polk, and Taylor. In 2010, we have Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, and Abraham Lincoln. And in 2011, we have Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, and James Garfield. Something to keep in mind with these ones, these coins here from 2007 to 2011 are circulated coins. They are common, they are found in $25 coin rolls. So these are very common. So pretty much all of these that I found here, I found in circulation. So starting in 2012, the U.S. Mint stopped minting presidential dollars for circulation due to insufficient demand. Collector formats continued to be made after that time, however. Many different presidential dollars from multiple years are known with edge lettering incorrect or missing. Okay, so 2012 through 2016 and 2020 were considered NIFC, and they are not in circulation, so you would have to go to the coin shop to get these, or you get these through the mint. But as you can see, in 2012, you had Chester Arthur, you had Harrison. Then you had two different types. You had two different varieties for Grover Cleveland for his non-consecutive terms. You had the first variety where he kind of was looking kind of forward a little bit, and then you have more of a side view on variety 2. So those are the differences. In 2013, you had McKinley, Taft, Teddy Roosevelt, and Woodrow Wilson. 2014, you had Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, and FDR. 2015, you had Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Lyndon B. Johnson. In 2016, you had Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, and Ronald Reagan. And then in 2020, you had George H.W. Bush. Again, there is a law that says no living president shall be on the face of a coin. That's why they don't have any of the other ones. And then the other thing to keep in mind too is, just like with the Sacagawea or the Native American dollars, look for the edge, the letterings on the edge. If they are completely missing or non-existent, then those are definitely worth keeping, and they are very valuable. Now this right here is an example of a proof dollar that I found, NIFC for 2012. This is a Type 1 Cleveland, and you can see the edge lettering there. So lots of different things to look for. Again, the reverse is the Statue of Liberty. If you see a reverse of this on a Sacagawea dollar on the front, that is a mule error, and that's definitely worth a lot of money. The last dollar series I'm going to just talk about is called the U.S. Innovation Dollar, or the American Innovation Dollar series. This Coin Act was signed into law on June 20th, 2018, and it authorized a new $1 coin program honoring significant U.S. innovations in each of the 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the 5 territories. The $1 coin, struck with the same pure copper core and outer layer as gold-colored manganese brass as the ongoing Native American dollars, are being released at the rate of 4 new designs per year. A single motif was issued in 2018 to introduce the series. It established a common obverse which bears a dramatic image of Lady Liberty extended to the rim. The reverse features a representation of President George Washington's signature on the first U.S. patent, which was issued in 1790. So as you can see, there is the first patent coin. It was issued in 2018. Each unique reverse of 2019 through the year 2032 features a design representative of an important innovation, innovator, or group of innovators in each jurisdiction. Like Native American dollars, the U.S. Innovation Dollars features edge inscriptions of the year of issue, mint mark, and the motto E Pluribus Unum. All right, so as you can see, in 2019, we had Delaware, which was classifying the stars. You had Pennsylvania, polio vaccine. You had New Jersey, looks like, not sure what that is. And you had Georgia, Trustees Garden. In 2020, you had Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, and South Carolina. And 2021, you had New Hampshire, Virginia, New York, and North Carolina. And then in 2022, you had Rhode Island and Vermont. The other 2 states in 2022 are Kentucky and Tennessee. Kentucky is actually getting ready to drop here within the next few weeks, so I'll be looking out for that one. Again, these coins are not intended for circulation, so These are not, you're not going to find these in any rolls, all right? And then this is what the front of the coin looks like. It's a Statue of Liberty with $1, in God we trust. And as you can see, the edge lettering on the edge, all right, just like the other ones. So, all right, folks. Well, I hope you found that informative. I hope you found that helpful. Again, there's a lot of different varieties of dollar coins out there. There's a lot of different things to look for when it comes to dollar coins. So, you know, for the new collector out there, for somebody who's just starting out, I would, you know, definitely look at these videos a couple of times. You know, refer back to these if you need to. And that goes for all of my videos. If you ever have questions or whatever, you know, shoot me a comment, shoot me a question, and I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. But yeah, so there's a lot of different dollar coins out there. So hopefully you found this informative and helpful. Again, I'm Chris Clutch. Thank you for joining me at Coins with Clutch, and y'all have a blessed day.